I'm gonna be the person who helps me, so then I can start helping other people.
Hey, what's up? My name is Samuel Leeds. I'm with Ibby and Huslen. What's going down, guys? Now listen, if you've ever wanted to get into rent-to-rent, start a rent-to-rent portfolio or get into property with very little money, these guys have done it financially free.
Yeah.
Financially free in just a matter of months. I'm going to be asking you so many detailed questions because I want you to be able to do the same thing too. Let's go. Well, thank you so much for coming down to my house, guys. Between the two of you, you've gone from one property deal, 2 to 3 to 4, your full-time property. You've now got to the point where you don't need to work anymore. Talk to me a little bit about your backstories. When did you get into property? How did it all start? And we're going to get some real nuggets today.
So we went to NEC Birmingham event in Birmingham to see Grant Cardone and Gary Vee. So we were just like, okay, we need to go there. And I was just going to him like, there's this event, because we never go to any events before. So I said, we need to go there. Grant Cardone's there, and he's like, no, it's a scam.
I didn't even know where he was.
Yeah, he's like, no, like we shouldn't go to stuff like that, because it was like £300 at the time. That's a lot for us. So I just dragged them, and we went, and it was an event called Unlock Your Potential, and I feel like that's where everything started.
The world opened.
Yeah.
What did you think of that event? Did you totally change your mind, or were you still sceptical?
100%. We fell in love with Grant after it. We started watching loads of Grant Cardone videos, replaced Netflix for just his videos.
Yeah.
I got to a point where it's like, it's good, but it's not really relatable.
Yeah.
So we Googled UK version of Grant Cardone, and you came up.
Wow.
Yeah.
We started watching your videos.
We was like binge watching your videos. Yeah.
And
What year was this?
2019.
End of 2019.
We actually came to a
before.
crash course in end of 2019. I was reluctant to go. I was like, no, let's not go. It's in London. We haven't got time. We're gonna manage the kid. And he was like, no, we're going. We went down there. We almost signed up, but we still we had that resistance. We wasn't sure.
We just kept thinking it's like too good to be true.
Yeah.
And all the energy and stuff. So we come to 3 crash courses.
Wow.
Yeah, because we like it. We just love the energy that we get from
But
the
we
event,
still-
from you.
We're
Yeah.
still like, still hold the poor mentality. We're still holding us back.
Yeah.
What was that mentality that was making you think it's too good to be true? You know, this isn't real. Where did that come from?
I think just telling ourselves we haven't got the money when realistically we did if we really wanted it.
Right. Because it's not about whether you've got the money or not. It's about whether you've got the deals or not. Because if you've got the deals, the money will come.
Exactly, yeah.
So you were thinking, well, I haven't got the money, so what's the point in looking for the deals?
Mine was just because I've never had like rich family. So I just thought you have to work hard and make money. You can't just make money that easily. Because if it is, you have to pay something back. One way or another, yeah.
And when I'm there talking about packaging and selling deals, controlling properties, no money down, it just sounded a bit like, whoa, really?
Yeah, we tried it ourselves after it, but we didn't really have that kind of that
drive.
push, and there was basic things that we didn't know the answer to, and so that just kind of made us step back even further.
And what were you doing at the time?
Well, we secured a lease option off the back of it.
Wow.
We ended up backing out of it just because we couldn't do serviced accommodation, and the plan B was just use it as a single let, but we were just still unsure about it, and we ended up just backing away from it.
So you did a bit of free training. You were kind of success or property was almost at your fingertips, and you felt like, oh, it was close. Hadn't invested into any training or paid for any proper education, but I'd done a bit of the free stuff. I'd watched a lot of the YouTube videos. What were you working as at the time?
So I was working full time in a sports supplement company.
And you full-time mum?
Full-time mum, 1-year-old and 2-year-old.
Wow, busy.
Yeah.
And how did you guys meet?
We met in the gym.
We met in the gym like 8 years ago.
Well, I'm feeling very fat next to you both. But so congrats on the success on the gym. In fact, I remember one of the meetings that we had like about a year ago, and you were kind of like, your energy was great, really excited, ready to roll. I'm sure thousands of people can relate to where you were at that point. Been on a few free courses, watched loads of videos, on the brink, in shape, happy, successful, good energy, but there was just something that wasn't quite clicked.
Actually, you said to both of us, you said to her, you're going to be really successful. I can see your future. And you said to me, just looked at me and went, you need to raise your thermostat, bro.
Ouch!
And I was like, what?
No, and then the second time, what did he say to you? He said to him, like, don't be a pussy.
And at first, I was reflecting on it at night. I was like, who the fuck does he think he is? Like, saying that. And then I reflected on it, I was like, you know, he's right. Like, why am I getting defensive towards this?
Quite an offensive thing to say, though, like saying you're going to be really successful. You need to change your game.
Tough love, though, man. It's tough love. And I don't think you're not going to say that to everyone.
Yeah.
But who you feel like it'd benefit.
Interesting as well, because when I'm really hard on people, if I say to a dude, you know, you need to up your game, you're being a pussy, I'll only say that to someone that I know can handle it.
That's what you said afterwards as well.
Right.
Because you knew, and then you like that or something. You told me, you know, you want someone to call you that and like push you that.
Well, it's about someone being straight with you, isn't it? Because most people will pat you on the back and say, oh yeah, you're great, when actually you need to be told the truth. And I won't say to someone, you're being a pussy, because some people that would crush them. Whereas I knew that Ibby, actually, he had a lot of potential, smart, good energy, had a lot of greatness, but he was holding himself back, and he needed someone to shake him, give him a punch in the mouth, and say, come on, you know, which is what happened. So when did you really start taking property serious, and when did you guys say, we're going to go all in, forget our limiting beliefs, we're going to get around good people?
So we got a rent-to-rent before coming onto the DSM.
Yes.
But we had it for months, wasn't really doing anything, wasn't really pushing ourselves anymore. And then in November, I came to the DSM, and the energy was amazing, learning lots of new things, and that's when we was on stage doing the role play.
Yes.
And I think, again, I don't think you would have done that to a lot of people.
No. I had complaints about that.
Well, I think that was
I'm happy for it. I'm happy you done it.
that was a big turning point for me.
So just for anyone that was wondering, what happened?
He come to the DFE, and I was in a hotel room looking after the kids, like 5 minutes away.
Yeah.
And I was on stage, was doing role play.
We're talking about sales, right?
Yeah, sales role play, and he just looked, and I had a black badge on, and he was like, "You're not joining the academy?" And I was like, "No." And he was like, "Okay, why not?" And I was like, "Do you want me to be honest?" On stage, he was like, "Yeah, go for it." I just said why I didn't want to join the academy. I felt like, I think I've got the knowledge on a lot of stuff already, and I just want to focus on rent to rent. I don't want to bombard my mind with all of their concepts and strategies. And he was like, okay, let's try a little role play then. I'm going to sell you the academy. Do you want to try it? So in front of 150, 200 people, we're on stage and you're selling me the academy.
But in like role play mode.
Role play mode. You're asking me questions and I'm trying to give it back a little bit. And it got to a point where you just said, look, you've got money. You've established you've got enough for the academy in crypto.
You can afford it.
Yeah, and my point there was, okay, in my mind I was thinking, the money for the academy, what's my return on investment if I keep it in crypto? Best case scenario, let's say 10x's. I'm still going to be in the same position, working, I haven't got enough time, but if I invest it into skills and into expanding and trying to give myself more free time, I'm going to be in a completely different situation. And you said to me, yeah, it's 100% return on investment, it's easy. I said, I want more than that. And you went, worst case scenario, it's 100% return on investment. And I was like, I want to get more time and the potential to grow a lot further. So for me, it was just 100% worth it. And I was just like, you know what, fuck it, let's do it. And since then, it's just pushed us so much.
It literally has, because you can be online, you watch all those videos, but it's not what you need. And you're always unsure, is this the right information? But after joining the academy, I'm so grateful like that happened on stage, because if it didn't, we'll just still be coming to, you know, crash courses and just going safe. Yeah. And that was just like, we got the right people around us, and there's nothing going to stop us now. And
you've achieved so much in the last sort of 3 or 4 months. You know, you've got now multiple rent-to-serviced accommodation properties. You've still got the initial rent-to-rent that you had. You've packaged and sold deals. You're now looking to grow and scale up to do bigger deals, development, joint ventures, financially free.
Yeah.
So congratulations, congratulations. But I really just wanted to kind of pick your brain in this interview about 2022, okay? You've secured a lot of rent-to-rents. how do you find good deals? How do you work out how do you know if it's a good deal or a bad deal? What are the exact steps for someone watching this now? You've invested a lot in yourself, in your education. If you had to summarize and condense everything that you've learned, what do you go and do? How do you implement and get deals?
So when you start in, what we done was just have a plan. Literally write it on, what do I want to do this year? What do I want to achieve? And literally break it down. And then from then on, what we do is, okay, how can we add value to anyone, even to the cleaners, even to the estate agents? So we'll go and speak to estate agents, like we build in a relationship. I don't care if I go to the viewing and we don't take on the property. We just go in to get value, add value. How can I help here before I get money? And that's the type of approach that we had with everyone.
Right.
What can we do to that person before I get my own money?
So what you're saying is, rather than thinking, I need to get a deal, I need to make money, it's about thinking, actually, rather than thinking from my perspective, oh, I need a deal, I need money, who's going to give me a deal? Right, how can I help them? How can I add value to them? Because I think it's the same with rent-to-rent. A lot of people think, oh, I want a rent-to-rent. It's like, no. Let's think about what service this is. Yeah. Who needs this service? And instead, you're almost thinking about how, as a business, you can add value to others, and then as a result, you'll get what you want. That's really helpful.
You've done that really well, actually. What you started doing is ringing landlords and say, look, I see you've got a room, an empty room, a spare room. I'll find a tenant for you. Give me 2 weeks rent, but I'll find it for you. And you would go in there, take better pictures, dress the room, market it a lot better, and you'd be finding other landlords, tenants. And we'd keep them adverts online. And when people start messaging us about all these good rooms, it acted like a funnel to our own rent-to-rent as well.
Wow.
Because that was like the turning point where, oh my God, I can actually charge a landlord 2 weeks rent just by finding a tenant, and £200. It's like, I just thought like, whoa, that's a lot of money at the time. And it's like, we can be creative, we can provide value and get paid for it. Because dressing the room wasn't, just go to a shop, get dressing and take a nice picture and we'll rent it out easily.
Interesting.
It even let us know, based in Liverpool and knowing other people in their own areas, you have assumptions about bad areas. Ooh, I'd never invest there. But it learns us to go off facts rather than assumptions, because some of these areas where we found a tenant, there was actually a really good demand there.
Interesting. Yeah. I think as well, what I found is when you are working in an area where sometimes it can be a hindrance, because like I grew up in Warsaw and I used to think, oh, Warsaw's horrible, Warsaw's terrible. And I started investing in Birmingham. And then a few people, some of my friends were, oh, I'm looking at a deal in Warsaw. And I just thought, oh, horrible. But actually I was judging it because it's got a bit of a bad rep. And I was thinking, actually, if you just look at the numbers, it's not really that horrible. There's some parts that are really horrible, but actually, I was almost just throwing it all out because I'm like, oh, no, not Warsaw. But yeah, really important that assumptions, you've got to look at the actual facts. How do you go about finding your patch? How do you find your area? Because that's something that people get really, really confused and lost in.
Yeah, so I think you've got to figure out what you want to go for, serviced accommodation or HMO. Personally, I suggest to a lot of people to start off with HMOs.
That's what you did?
Yeah, because what you can do when you're on the phone as well, you can be like, hi, I'm looking at this 5-bed house, blah, blah, blah. And then while you're on the phone, you say, actually, have you got any studios or 1-beds while I'm here? I might be able to take it off your hands. That's not that much of a big deal. So you can kind of target both at the same time.
Yeah.
So figure out what you want to do. For HMOs, you've got to find out the supply and demand within all the postcodes of the city, to find out which areas are popping, which ones are you're going to get tenants really fast. You could probably get a HMO in any part of your city if you market it right, but if you just go down deeper and find out which specific area is going to pop even better, then you can easily fill it. And for us, that was really powerful, because we still had that inclination of, is it going to work, isn't it? And then when we've got all this data saying, actually, there's a load of HMOs already existing there. Yeah. Let's target that HMO and we can easily fill the rooms.
Talk to me about your first Rent-to-HMO. Talk to me about that. How did you find that, and what were the figures?
So it was a 9-bed HMO.
9 beds.
Already done. Licensed in Liverpool.
Okay.
So it was already ready. The landlord had rent-to-rent person managing it. So he actually gave it to a company to manage it, but that company wasn't doing well. So the landlord gave it to him with, I think, 6 tenants.
Yeah.
And then he was struggling so bad. This was during pandemic, and he was just struggling really bad. And he said he just had to give it back to the landlord.
Wow.
With 2 tenants. And we was there. We was building that relationship with the landlord, and we just kind of like, you know, adding value to him. And then we just kind of took it on from him.
Yeah. This you actually started finding tenants for that landlord.
Oh yeah, that's what I was doing. So I was finding tenants for this landlord, and then he had loads of these properties, and because we was just doing, you know, finding landlords, and he knew what kind of things we were doing, he just said, "Do you want to take this on?"
Yeah. So that property then, if it sucked for the previous person doing a rent to rent, why does it work for you?
So the previous person, he didn't live in Liverpool, didn't live anywhere near Liverpool, and he had a letting agent managing it for him. So he thought it'd be passive income, it'd be the middleman, but rent to rent isn't passive income, it's only passive for the landlord.
I'm so glad you said that, because I often see people even like buying rent to rents off people, and they just think, oh, I'll pay you $3,000 and you can find me a rent to rent, and I'll just sit back and do. Rent to rent is a business.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, why is it that a restaurant might not work and then someone comes over and it gets new management and suddenly it makes money? Because now it's under new management.
Yeah.
It's being managed properly. And in the same way with rent to rents, it's not sometimes a case of, is that a good deal or is it a bad deal? It's, are you a good entrepreneur or are you a bad entrepreneur?
And that's how a lot of people think, and how we used to think as well. I just wanted passive income. I don't want to do no work, because I was just with that poor mindset. But now, after getting these properties, I'm like, I love working. Like, I want to manage more properties. It's like, I love it.
Yeah. And the landlord who owns it, we always think, oh, tired landlord, a beaten up property.
Yeah.
But this guy, Kieran, he's like a property millionaire. He's trying to expand his business by going into developments. So he can't manage that.
He can't be bothered. He'd rather make £800 a month and have zero hassle.
Yeah, he doesn't want to go to viewings.
Then make £1,500 a month, but have to go out a few times a month and do bits and bobs.
And his letting agents keep letting him down. So
Yeah.
It's
Brilliant. So proper figures. How much do you pay him per month?
1,750.
1,750. And then you then rent the whole thing. What's the gross turnover of the property?
Gross turnover is
I don't know, but it's 1,000 profits a month.
350.
At least you know you profit. That's
I
the
know
most
my
important.
profit.
That's the important. You just like, all I know is we make £1,000 a month profit.
The profit a month, it was actually lower. It was like 750. But we've like figured ways out how to push that profit up even further.
Yeah.
And how?
On during the pandemic, and obviously we struggled the first couple of months to find tenants, and that's where I had to just try all different things to figure out,
Get
be
really
creative.
creative.
What did you do? How did you push it up?
I've dressed the rooms, so his pictures were just take a just mattress. So I went and dressed the room. It's so cheap. Go to Range, get nice pillows, bedding.
But the tenants keep that as well.
Yeah, we just give that to the tenants. But I know some people, just take it back after they sign the contract, but we just add value to the tenants. And we also give them welcome pack. So we'll give them, shampoos, toiletries, fruits,
Nice.
healthy landlords. So we do stuff like that. And
We also list it on Airbnb.
we also list it on Airbnb.
Okay.
We contact, go on Facebook Market. So we literally put leaflets everywhere as well.
So with the Airbnb, we'll have a room, we'll list it on Airbnb with a minimum stay of 60 days, 90 days. And what usually happens is we'll get international students or people moving from different countries. Like, for example, we've got one guy in there from Uzbekistan coming over to Liverpool to work in a hospital, but he doesn't really know about a spare room. He's familiar with Airbnb. So for him, it's just a lot easier.
Yeah.
And we charge everyone else in the house pays $350 a room. He pays $500 to $550 a room from Airbnb.
Right.
So we're getting a good tenant, but also they're paying more as well.
We also contact people, international people, because it's hard for them to come to new countries, settle down. So we help with that. So we give them, because they need an address for their visa. So we'll go, okay, pay your deposit. This is the contract. This is what you need to, show your visa people. And what we just help them, like, this is the cheap taxis. We literally just whole, the experience of coming to the
Amazing.
UK. We help with that.
So it's kind of like you're very proactive with your marketing then, Rather than just sitting back and thinking, oh, I'll just let a letting agent do it. You're literally pushing the rents up all over it, which is why you make £1,000 a month profit now, whereas the previous guy wasn't making any money.
No.
Losing money,
And we also increase the rent every time someone leaves. Not when the tenants are in, but when someone leaves.
Up by £5 or £10. Yeah. Well, it makes sense. Everything goes up. So that's your first property. Your serviced accommodation properties. What is rent to serviced accommodation, and why would a landlord not just do it themselves?
So basically, rent to service accommodation is where you take a whole property and you just let it out on short-term stays. For a landlord, they want a guaranteed rent. They want a fixed rent. Instead of having someone in all the time, they could be losing money with letting agents, paying a management fee, tenant finding fees every time someone moves out. There's void periods. They have to kind of do light refurbishments every time someone moves out. So if they get someone in there doing rent to rent and taking it all on, it takes off all the hassle, and they've got a fixed rent coming in each month that they can walk away
It's
from.
basically like the advantage of commercial property,
Exactly, yeah.
where the tenant is responsible for everything, and you become not the tenant, but you become the point of contact for the landlord, do everything, but then you then list it on Airbnb and Booking.com, and you know how to run that business.
And with, for the landlord as well, we don't have any tenants' rights. So it gives him that extra security. If we're not paying rent or anything like that,
He can
just kick us out.
And the guests don't have tenants' rights either. So effectively, there's no tenants in all of this.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is brilliant.
And it's kept to a much higher standard as well.
And I like how you agreeing with us and saying this is what you do, but all of this information we got it off you.
Yeah, but you know what though? You've got it off me, but then you've lived it. And now you're sharing it back from experience. So it's incredible. How do you know? How do you do your research before you take on a serviced accommodation rent to rent? And how do you know if it's going to be profitable or not? And how accurate are your projections?
You done most of the research for the service accommodations, wasn't it? You was following out Samuel's blueprints in
I've done your online course.
in
So
the essay card.
every week, whatever you say, I just do it because I believe in you like 100%. I'm just like, yeah, I don't need to be like smart and try and like use my brain. I'm just gonna copy what he's. I'm just gonna
change the wheel.
Yeah, I'm just gonna copy and paste what he says.
Right.
Every time you say go to receptionist, go and speak to them, I went and done it.
In a hotel.
Yeah, in a hotel.
So
I went
you
and
went-
I
you
even
did
went to
that?
I even went to a hotel room, dead confident, and I was like, yeah, I want to speak to someone here because I want to take on some of these rooms myself. I'm a company, and they're like, okay, yeah, come back tomorrow. And I was like, we just come out like, what did we just do? It's
So
like,
basically, talk me through what happened when you went to the hotel and asked about their occupancy rates, because that is, I don't think most people actually do that.
I told her not to go. Like, don't go. Don't go. I'll wait outside.
But firstly, so people can understand, why did you do it?
So I went in there because this was after we've seen a really luxurious apartment to take on for the essay, and we was just like, let's go to a rich cafe. We want to manifest, and let's go to a rich cafe. And there was a hotel next door, and we're like, come, let's go speak to them, see if we can take on some of the rooms from them. And you was going like, what? Like, no, we can't do that. And I was like, no, we can do that. Like, let me.
Samuel told me,
Yeah,
it's fine.
so it's fine, I'll go in. But they were just receptionists, and they said, like, come back, speak to my manager. But they were, like, open to it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Sometimes I feel like walking in is more powerful than over the phone 100%. Because you've got that rapport, that connection. Yeah. So what's the best way that you found success? Because I know there's like many different ways of getting rent to serviced accommodations. Where do you find them? Where are they coming from?
So for ours, it's been through letting agents, building a rapport with someone, and I think just realising that the letting agents, they're just human beings.
Yeah.
So what do you say when you call the letting agent? I'm the letting agent. Hello, Best of Weaves, how can I help?
Are you okay? I see there's an apartment available on Church Road. Could I book a viewing, please?
Sure, absolutely. What's your situation?
Also, I own an accommodation business, so I'm a house working professionals and international students. Have you only got that one property? Ideally, I need about 5 in that area.
Oh, wow. Yeah, we've only got this one at the moment, but if anything else comes up, I can let you know. Would you like to book a viewing?
Okay, perfect. Can we do Tuesday or Wednesday?
Oh, wow. Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday works.
Perfect. We'll do the viewing on Wednesday around 12ish. If you do get any more properties pop up, can we just book them in before 12 or after 12.
So what did you say your situation was? You provide housing for people. What's the name of your company? How does it work?
So my company is Your Property Investment, and we house international students. Sometimes we'll have working professionals as well.
Okay, I'd have to check with the landlord to see if he'd be open to doing that sort of... so who would be living in the property?
So international students, as I said before, we do have working professionals coming in. So did you say you'd have to check with the landlord? Is this something that you have done before?
Yeah, no, I just have to, I think, I'd have to speak to the landlord just to see whether he'd be okay with that sort of arrangement. But yeah, I mean, we can pencil in a viewing for Wednesday at 12, and I'll drop you an email over, and I'll let you know if there's any problems beforehand.
Okay, what was your name again?
My name's Samuel.
Oh, perfect, Samuel. Can't wait to see you.
All right, see you soon. Bye.
Take care.
Cool. Respect.
Hi, can I add my part?
Go on.
So what I do is I tell them I work with these big companies. I don't want to say the names just in case. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's big companies in Liverpool. I've went.
Which is true, right?
Yeah, I've contacted them and said, look, we provide accommodation.
And they've said, yeah, sure.
They say, yeah, right?
Right.
So then I'll speak to estate agents and say, I work with this companies, and we provide accommodation to their staff or anyone who's, yeah.
That's brilliant. And let me ask you a question. Why do so many letting agents hate rent-to-rents?
I think one, I found that a lot of the agents have been told, no, it's evil.
Evil?
We have our own properties, they're trying to get one over on us.
Right.
And then some just think it's subletting, they don't understand it, and some have had bad experiences as well.
Right.
I think with our script as well, it's not just, everyone says, what's your script? We just have facts, and then we just flow with the conversation. And you've got your style, I've got my style.
We just do it as like, okay, if we actually set this business up, how would we go about it without your teachings or whatever, like online teachings? So we just try and change a little bit, stand out a little bit.
Put your own stamp on it.
Yeah, don't just say the same script as everyone, because everyone's ringing, do you do corporate let?
Yeah.
But we just want to say, this is the business that we created. This is our model. Yeah. How can you help us? How can we help you?
Yeah, and I think just back to the adding value part, which was very important. We used to ring up like it's, oh, can we do a rent-to-rent? Well, actually, we're providing a really good service.
We are.
A lot of letting agents and property management, a lot of them are useless. So we're going in, we're providing a really good service.
And even if they're good, even if they're a good letting agency, I used to run a letting agency. I've also worked in an estate agency at Countrywide. And even if they're a good letting agent, their landlord that they're representing wants rent. Yeah. Their landlord's got an empty property and wants rent. If you're coming along and saying, we want to rent your property on a contract with extra bonuses, because it is also a numbers game, right? Yeah. If a letting agent says, or a landlord says, no, don't want to do that, then you don't have to take it personal. Some people will ring up trying to do, I mean, you actually won me over, but some people will ring up a landlord or an agent, and the agent will shut them down or say, no, don't deal with that, don't do company lets, can't do that. And then the entrepreneur on the phone will feel rejected, hurt, but they're not rejecting you, they're rejecting your business concept, they're rejecting the idea. They're not rejecting you.
But I found useful as well, it's like the art of sales and conversation, where when you're talking to them, don't expect and don't get sucked up onto their story. For example, even if you're ringing up for you want to buy it could be a rundown property, it could be a rent-to-rent, anything, when you ask them straight away, they might say no because they don't understand it. Yeah. So whatever they say, just open up that conversation and it opens up a lot more doors as well.
So profit-wise, what kind of profit would you be expecting to make, or what would you say is average for your properties with your service departments?
Well, you said break even at 50%.
Right. What does that mean? Break even at 50%?
Okay, so 50% whenever guests come in for 1 month at 50% occupancy. So guests only come in for 15 days. Yeah. And then you should cover your costs.
In other words, if you have 50% occupancy rate, which is terrible because average is 83%, if you have 50%, you should not be losing money. Yeah. You should be breaking even. Yeah. Anything above 50% is profit. Yeah. So, okay.
But our deals, we don't just break even at 50%, we make profit on them.
Wow.
So at 55% on one, we're making 1,800.
1,800 on one?
Yeah, and on the other one, it's 1,200.
It's 4 by better.
Oh my goodness.
I know a lot of people do apartments, but you can't do SA, the whole house as well.
Did you think it was too good to be true before you signed the contract?
Yeah. I still think that now. But
even though the money's coming in?
Yeah, we was at your event the other day and we were just sitting, and then my phone, like a notification come up, and it says 3 nights, 450, someone paid already. And I just like, wow, I'm just making money while sitting here. Things that we manifested, or the things that I wanted, it's coming true. Like even on being on Winners on Wednesday, it was like unwritten goal that but we just coming on here so soon, it's like surreal.
I think one important thing I'd like to share as well that's helped us a lot and kind of visualise what's a good deal and what's not a good deal is something called, what we call the 3 M's. So you need to work out, whenever you go into any rent-to-rent deal, what's the maximum amount of capital that you want to put down. So for us it was 5,000. We don't want to put more than 5,000 into a deal. So for the furniture, first month's rent, deposits, decorations, we don't want to put more than 5k.
Yeah.
So the next one is the minimum amount of profit. What's the minimum amount of profit you're willing to make on a deal? So for us it's 500. If it's below 500, we don't want to touch it. And the last one is the months. How many months do you get your money back? So we want to get our money back under 6 months. Yeah. So using these 3 things, if a deal doesn't stack up straight away, maybe it's we're not getting our money back until 10 months. But like, okay, well, how do we figure out how to reduce our initial capital? Maybe we get a grace period. Maybe we reduce the rents.
Maybe we're being too conservative.
Maybe we need to get the furniture out on a lease. Yes. Like, what can we do? Yeah. And all of this, we figure out a strategy to make the property work, and then we use that and put that into the offer. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So like that's how you, when I said have a plan and then break it down. That's how
gives you a lot of clarity.
With anything.
Not just to sit, because a lot of people look at deals and go, oh, it doesn't work. Well, how can we make it work? How can we increase the rent? How can we reduce the monthly costs? And that all comes together in the offer that we send to the.
As well to you guys, obviously part of the academy, which is amazing, but you've been such an asset to the academy. You know, you give so much. In fact, you know, within your whole business, the way you are with your landlords and tenants and agents, you're always thinking, what can I give? And, you know, I know you've set up a group where you're helping mums in property on social media, which is just amazing. And Ibby, I know you dream one day you've got a fire to be a trainer and to be a speaker and to write books and to help people and pull people up, which I understand because that's what I do. Where does that come from? And where does that passion and desire to want to sort of help others, bring others into the community, and the amount of people that you've brought into the academy as well? Like you're almost like a financial evangelist, you know. So where does that come from, and what that passion and desire?
So my experience is when I had the kids, we both planned our kids, but I just thought I was going to be a really good mum. Like I look after them really well, but I really struggled, and I just couldn't get out the house. I was just in my bed, and I just went through like really low stage, because it's like lucky, right, to have a kid, and it's like almost like you shouldn't struggle. And I tried to do things myself as well, you know, do everything by myself and still try and do property on the side. So I wasn't getting no help because I just thought it's my responsibility, I have to do this. But I was just struggling and struggling. And I know a lot of mums go through this as well. Like they just can't, like I couldn't cook and I was just breastfeeding my kids. But everyone was saying, oh, you're so good breastfeeding. But I was just doing that because I just felt lazy, procrastinating, but it was to do with my mental health. Right. But once you fix your mental health, once you help yourself and work on your mental health, then everything started changing. Like I don't get that now. I wake up excited, and that's what I want to help other parents, because I know what they go through, and I know that thing where, you know, you should socialize and just push everyone out. And literally mine, I was like, oh my God, property actually helped me get out of this.
How did property help you? How did it help you?
Because I was really struggling financially, because I just felt like I was stuck and I just needed to, you know, I was just going to go crazy. Like I just couldn't be a stay-at-home mom. I know like people love that, but to me, I just couldn't. There was something in me, I just had to leave this house, but I couldn't leave the house. So one day I just said, you know what, I'm waiting for someone to come and help me. I'm waiting for, you know, Ibby to make money and to become rich. And I just said to myself, do you know what, I'm going to be that person. I'm going to be that rich person. I'm going to be the person who helps me, so then I can start helping other people. And it's, wow. And then telling myself I deserve this as well, because I kept going, you know, I don't know, some reason I just thought I don't deserve it, because compared to my relatives or someone else, you know, like this in poor countries, they're doing worse than me. So I just said, like, you know, this, I shouldn't deserve this. But then I started going, no, do you know what? I actually went through so many things, and yeah.
Wow, that's powerful. You realise that you're the person that you've been waiting for.
Yeah. And I didn't have no friends. I didn't really have any close friends, like loyal friends. And I just said, you know what, I'm just not going to wait for them. I'm just going to be that friend to myself. Yeah. And property, I've met so many amazing people, and like, it's making me money, it's making me friends, it's, you know, it's, I've got different lifestyle now.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And it's just realising that money and property is a tool. And that's like, it just helped.
You deserve everything you've achieved.
And saying I deserve it, and the more things start coming. And then the more I help people, like in the academy group, I'll sometimes go, oh, guys, come on, I'm sending positive affirmation. Let's see you get that keys. Let's see you sign the contract tomorrow. And I didn't realise I was doing that. And then I look back and like, all the things that I send out is coming back to me as well.
Yeah.
So
Karma.
Yeah.
Karma.
Yeah, it really is.
I think for me, anyone who knows me, I'm always kind of just genuinely trying to help people. Whether it's on a small scale, a big scale, I've just got that thing in me that I just like helping people. And I found as I'm doing it more, it creates a positive peer pressure. I'm helping everyone else build up and advance their property journey. And then when I see these people doing well, I'm like, oh shit, I need to step up. I need to raise my thermostat. Yeah. And I need to up it myself. Yeah. So I think people who know me, I just like to help, and I'm just genuine like that. But the benefits of that is it literally creates a really positive.
And I think as well, when you push other people up, I mean, in property, it's not like someone else's success is at your downfall. Actually, the more your people around you succeed, the more you succeed as well. So everyone wins together.
I'm really surprised the amount of people who have that mindset where they don't help other people, they keep other people down. But the more people you bring up, it can elevate yourself as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I'm really excited. I know you've also been doing a lot of other stuff. You've got some deals going on in the background. You've been packaging and selling deals. How many deals have you started? 4 deals now?
Yeah, 4 now. Yeah.
And on average, what kind of fee are you charging?
$3,000. Some of them a little bit less, some of them a little bit more. But we've been co-sourcing with people as well, where they bring us deals and then we connect them to the investor.
So you've been selling, you've been doing deal selling, you've been doing rent-to-HMOs, rent-to-service accommodation. What's next for Ibby and Huslen over the next 12 months?
Okay, so I've created a plan. And I just said this year we're going to have 12 essays. Well, he wants HMOs, but I want 12 essays. 12 essays, 11,000 profit a month, because the 1,000 I want to spend on fun things.
Amazing. Yeah. Amazing.
The BRRs as well that we're going to do.
Oh yeah, so we're going to do BRRs as well. So 1 or 2 BRRs this year.
So we're deal source and we're finding deals for other people. But what we're doing is we're looking for deals for ourselves, and we didn't realise how many people have got money and they want to invest it in us and do a joint venture. Yeah. So we're just looking for that deal now.
We have loads of investors now.
Yeah.
Being active on social media, we have investors asking us, have you got deals? And we're like, no. So we need to get more deals.
Incredible. Well, guys, huge respect. And it's been a real pleasure working with you over the last few months. And I'm really excited to the next stages. And thank you for such a valuable interview as well, with so many golden nuggets. I appreciate it. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the interview with Ibby and Huslen. What a packed, gem-filled interview with so many golden nuggets. If you enjoyed it, let me know in the comments below. Drop a comment. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you want to connect to Ibby and Huslen, I'm going to leave their details and website in the description as well. You can subscribe to the channel right up over here. And if you want to come down to the Property Investors Crash Course, then don't forget to get booked on. Free tickets right here. And I'll see you guys next time.